Oh, I'm not doing too bad with 2. Somebody toss a 3rd in. Oh, I was not born with hand-eye coordination. Do you freeze your lemons? I wanted to test out this viral hack to see if it was worth its weight in juice, or liquid gold, lemon juice. So good for cooking, so good for cleaning, but how do we get the most juice out of the lemon? Now, I will admit that the first time I heard about this, I was really perplexed. I heard that if you freeze lemons, you'll get more juice out of them, and I'm like, the lemon is frozen. How do you get more juice? Well, the technique involves freezing your lemons and then let them thaw. So you freeze them overnight till they are all solid, and then you'll put them in the refrigerator to thaw overnight, or just on the countertop. Their lemons, they'll be fine. That seems like a lot of work and a lot of time to get a little bit more juice out of your lemons. So let's just test this out. I have these lemons frozen, and then they've just been chilling in the refrigerator overnight. They're very soft. Ooh, that's pretty juicy. It kind of looks like ice cream, or, you know, like a sweet treat. I just kind of want to eat it, but that's not what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna juice this first lemon by hand, and let's just see how much juice we get. They're very soft. So part of this technique, or part of why more juice comes out, is when you freeze anything, usually it just breaks down the cell walls, the membranes, and gets it nice and soft and gushy. So I think that's part of the technique here. We're trying to break down that lemon a little bit in the freezer to get as much juice as possible. Now, I will say it's really easy to squeeze. I'm trying to be very gentle here to get as much juice as I can and not get it all over the countertop. A few seeds are fine, but it's juicing really nicely. It's very cold though. Whew. Very cold. Okay, well, I'll save my criticism for the end, but it works pretty well. A lot of juice came out. It was super easy. Just gonna save those to the side. Now let's juice a normal lemon. So let's do an older lemon and see how much juice we get from an older lemon that's just been sitting on the counter for a few days now. So rolling, always a great technique to get more juice out of the lemon. That helps break down those interior walls. All the little fibers break down. So just as easy, I rolled this. This is an older lemon. New lemons tend to be super firm. So if you let your lemons sit for a few days, they soften up sometimes, and then they get like super hard. They like dry out, dehydrate, and you're left with basically walnuts. But this is just as easy and not as cold on my fingers. The room temperature lemon is very pleasant. But you can tell a texture difference already. See how the fibers are all separate on this fresh lemon? This is like very soft. It's like the fibers, the membrane in between each of the segments doesn't exist at all. So here's our frozen one, and here's our just room temperature one. I love every time I run a science experiment that's never one-to-one. It's like, I got a huge lemon and a little lemon that's been frozen, and we're not here to be exact scientists. We just like to play around in the kitchen and see what works. Okay, I will give a slight edge to the, no, actually, let me take those seeds out. It's giving it more volume. It's so negligible. Room temperature one was a slightly smaller lemon, but I've got, you know, a couple tablespoons of juice out of each lemon. But the frozen lemon took 12 hours to extract just a little bit more juice, maybe. Let's go with the frozen lemon first to see if it changes the flavor. Pretty tart. I don't know if it's because it's cold, but all I'm getting from the frozen lemon is just tartness. It's just sour. This lemon has a little bit of like sweetness. Kiki Palmer, she says that. This one's got a little sweetness. When she was on Hot Ones? Nobody? Okay, never mind. I like the way that the room temperature lemon tastes more. It tastes more like lemon instead of just like sour tart. I'm not sure if the freezing is changing the flavor at all, but these definitely taste different. And the color difference is pretty different too. So I wonder if the freezing process, since it's breaking down more of the lemon, if you get more of that lemon color in the frozen lemon. I mean, when it comes to hacks, go with ease. To freeze and unfreeze a lemon would evaporate. It's just so much little liquid. You're getting bonus out of it. The other thing is, anytime I use a lemon, I love to use the zest. Freezing it kind of makes it almost impossible to use the zest. It's too soft. It's too wet. You want a really dry lemon to get the zest off. I'm gonna try and zest it and see. All right, let's see how the frozen lemon zest, but it is very wet, very moist. Exterior, very soft, and pretty hard to zest, like nothing's coming off. While a fresh lemon comes out instantly. That peel is just cascading off a dry lemon. firm lemon. If you want to use the zest, I recommend not freezing. It's just a little too difficult to get off of there. All right, I'm gonna microwave a lemon really quick. So lemon, I haven't rolled it, haven't done anything to it. I'm gonna microwave this for about 15, 20 seconds. Let's give it 20. Now here's a nice, pretty frozen lemon. We're gonna use our citrus juicer. So the juicer automatically gets way more juice out of there. I like the citrus juicer here because it can extract a little bit of those essential oils from the peel if you have the peel on. But you do have to go kind of slowly because you get splatters all around sometimes with these. But there we go. The juicer already, a lot of juice. Ooh, warm. You got cold lemons, warm lemons. What is the right method here? Even the microwave trick, I would still say roll. Roll it, roll it. Juicy, juicy. I will say, I think this lemon is about the same size. It just had a lot more pith in it. Look how thick that is, jeez. Ooh, this one's a bit firm. Let's see if we can get more of that out. Yeah, these fresh lemons, they are pretty tough. I would say tough cookie, but it's not cookie. I would say for juicing, use slightly older lemons. The fresh lemons are just gonna be so tough to squeeze, so firm. Once they've sat for a few days, usually they soften up a little bit before they start drying out. Oh, that was far less juice. Not far less. I mean, we're talking, I probably could get more out of there. The verdict is in, everybody. The jury has deliberated. Freezing your lemons is just kind of an extra step and a waste of time. Let your lemons sit for a couple days, microwave it if it's a dry lemon. Those are better options. Use your juicer, no matter what kind of lemon you're using. You can probably get a lot more just because you have that leverage to squeeze. Also remember the tong technique. If you don't have a lemon squeezer, you can just squeeze your lemon between a pair of tongs to get some extra squeezing power. That's always a go-to trick. And before I create more dishes, okay, let's create more dishes. Final thing you can do is cut your lemon in half, and I usually take a fork and just get rid of the surface seeds. And then if you don't have a reamer or a juicer, you just kind of use the fork to break up the inside of the lemon and juice against the fork. Where were you earlier when I needed you? This is a super juicy lemon. That's the other reason why I think maybe freezing is just an extra step that doesn't really help. The amount of juice is gonna depend on the variety of lemon, the size of the lemon, how old the lemon is. So there's just gonna be so many factors, how much juice you're gonna get out of a lemon. Maybe it's not worth freezing, unthawing, then juicing. Just use 2 lemons if you need extra lemon juice. And this fork technique really works. Get in there, mash up the inside, and a lot of juice will come out. This was a super juicy lemon. Half of the lemon was as much lemon in the juice of the other one. There you go. One of my famous phrases is, your mileage may vary. While freezing your lemons may seem like a great technique, you're actually just spending extra time, and the zest is a little more difficult to use. So just go with a fresh lemon, a few day old lemon, and you'll have plenty of juice. Ultimately, the difference is pretty negligible. Now we just gotta make some lemonade.